Welcome back to 12 Acres and welcome to this week's highlights video. Well, we started out the week acquiring another storage unit. This time it was a very small one and it was practically free. However, it was pretty much a dud. This thing was pretty nasty, and the majority of the stuff that we got out was destined for the burn pile or the trash pile. We did, however, get one table, a small table with 3 chairs that is an antique and in pretty good condition, so I will be redoing that, and then a couple of other small tables, but the rest of it was, yeah, worthless. Pretty nasty stuff. Oh, gross. Okay, so after like 4 coats of paint, there were still differences in the finish where it had been filled. So I went ahead and put a coat of polyacrylic on it. It's still wet right now, that's why it's so shiny, but I'm hoping that will kind of just like cover everything, all the uneven finishes, because some blotches were like really matte and others were glossy depending on if it had wood filler or not. So just really weird. So I'm hoping that will fix that situation. And then over here, I got this dresser is totally painted now. Drawers are all painted. And I went ahead and put one coat of stain on the top. And I think I'll just stick with the one coat and then I'll put a clear coat to finish it out. And so I'm gonna go in the house right now and work on polishing up the hardware for those 2 pieces, or cleaning them as best I can, see what comes of them. This is the hardware for the tall light green dresser. This is the hardware on the darker green dresser. It's got these little knobs. So I'm going to clean those up and see which ones. I think these are going to have to be painted for sure because this finish is just like, I mean, it's like nothing. It's coming off so bad. And I don't know what those are going to look like once they're polished, so they might be pretty enough to use as is. So we'll see. And it did not improve their appearance at all, so it looks like I will be spray painting them. Not these, not the little guys, but all of these and these I will be giving a coat of paint to.
It's attached to the heart.
It's attached to the heart?
See it?
Oh, it sure is. Interesting.
I don't think you can take that out. Just tap that. There. His arms are closed.
Does his arm come off? Yeah, it's already off.
Oh. Put it on there. When does it go?
Smart parts. Your stomach is an organ of your digestive system. It's basically a hollow muscular sac that turns chewed up food into mush. For more information, press
Was
the
that
forward
stomach
arrow.
again?
Did you get it in?
The other butt.
Does he?
His arm's not staying there.
I finally got my hardware painted. I had a lot of trouble with my spray can. I think it may have just been too cold because it would not spray yesterday and it would just like splatter out. But I got it to work today after having it next to the heater for a little while and got all my hardware painted. So while the hardware is drying, I am starting to soak some beans. We are having chili today. Last week I mentioned, yeah, it's a little chilly in here, so I'm fully dressed. Last week I mentioned that I was going to do some canning this week. That was a lie. It's Thanksgiving week. I'm not going to have time to do canning, but I am making a big pot of chili today, so hopefully that'll be super yummy, and I'll kind of show you how I do it as I go along. I am doing a quick soak on kidney beans right now. Wait, these aren't kidney beans. These are pinto beans. I didn't have any kidney beans, so we're just going with pinto beans this time. So I boiled it for 2 minutes, and then it's going to sit here for about an hour. I'm going to head out to the shop for that hour while the beans soak and try to get some work done. It was 26 degrees this morning, hence all of the clothing. And it's going to be cold for these next several days, so I think winter is here. So what I do when I put this antiquing on is you just want to blob it on, making sure that you're pushing it into all of the texture And then you're going to take your super nasty paper towel and you're just going to wipe it back. And so wiping it off just kind of removes it from the top layer of your design, leaving it settled in the crevices. But yeah, that's all there is to it. And it will completely change the color of the paint underneath. So see where the drawers look more of a blue? I mean, they're very light and crisp. And now you've got a darker, more subdued color here. So I will have to put some of this antiquing on the drawers and just kind of wipe it back just to get the color to now match what is on the dresser. So I like it. It adds a lot more character than just the brand new paint on that wallpaper. I think it looks really neat. I just got to show you how beautiful the top of this dresser is. The wood is so pretty. And I don't know if it's showing up on camera or not. It may not be fully dry yet, I don't know. But I think it looks really nice. And the drawers turned out good. Let me turn this light around so you can see. I just put the antiquing on them and then wiped it back, so it did leave a little bit of a streaky color, I guess. But each one's different, so they're very unique, and just added a little bit of an old look to them. And then this dresser, I'm gonna have to strip this top all the way back down and redo it. So when I had filled in the low spots with wood filler, it kept leaving the wood filler areas very blotchy and a totally different sheen than the rest of the paint, no matter how many coats of paint I put on it. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and just put a clear coat on it, because that might even out the color, or at least the sheen, of the whole top. But what happened was, can you see it? The whole entire top is covered in crackles now. I have seen this happen before, and I believe the reason is because the top coat cured faster than the underlying coats of paint. So had I given it probably a full 2 weeks to cure before adding the top coat, it wouldn't have crackled like that. But it did, and so the only way to fix it now is to take it all the way off and redo it. So it is what it is. I don't really have a choice. Alright, so the beans are done cooking, and I went ahead and threw in 1 can of crushed tomatoes and 1 can of diced tomatoes, as well as 6 beef bouillon cubes. And then while the hamburger meat is browning, I'm going to throw the peppers and onions in here to get them to begin to soften. Alright, so to the ground beef, I add 2 large jalapenos, 2 medium-sized bell peppers, and 1 small onion, all chopped. And about 1/3 cup chili powder. Alright, the onions and peppers have all cooked thoroughly. They're nice and soft, and I'm going to go ahead and add this in with my soup mixture. Now, I like my chili to be pretty good and thick, but you can always add more water to thin it down a bit if you want, or more beef broth. But that's really all there is to it. Now I'll simmer this for a little while just to get the flavors all incorporated. But that's pretty much done. Everything's cooked. It's all been hot and boiling. Delicious.
Come on, Maggie! Goats!
They're coming. Oh, there they are. They're coming. Hi, guys. Ooh, she's licking her lips. She's hungry. today I'll be letting the horses out into the hayfield back there. I'm not going to let the goats and the cow in there yet, though. I think I'll leave them where they're at right now. It doesn't really look like there's much for them to eat out here, even though things have started growing again because of the rain that we've got. But it's all very tiny because it was totally bare before. So there's really not a lot for them to eat out here, and I think whatever was significant enough, they've already eaten. So I went ahead and pushed a hay bale out of the barn, got all the strings cut off. I'm gonna load up the trash can though to take hay up to the dogs to put in their dog houses. We're supposed to have temperatures in the next few days that are getting into the low 20s or mid 20s at night. So I wanna make sure that they're plenty warm in their dog houses. And I'll go ahead and let the goats and the cow have a bale of hay, and they will be super happy. They're already very excited about it. They watched me push it out of the barn. They're like, whoa! So I brought a load of hay into the pig barn to give her some hay to cover up in. Anyway, came in here and saw the cutest thing. She has been gathering up sticks to make herself a little nest. Isn't that so cute? Come here, Piggy. Come here. Look what I got for you. Look at that. A nice load of hay. She'll have fun with that for a while. What is that? What is that stuff? One of the things I have to do before letting the horses out here in the hayfield is just double check all the fences, make sure that they're still good. These fences are barbed wire and they've been here since we've lived here. We haven't really done anything to them. The one along the Wet Weather Creek here is a very good and strong fence. However, the bank of the creek keeps eroding, so little by little our posts are getting closer and closer to the edge as the whole area is getting wider and wider. So you can see in like places like this, I don't know if you can see that, you can actually see the bottom of the post there as it's getting closer to the edge. But so far everything looks fine, at least to keep the horses in. The goats, you can't keep goats in with barbed wire, so the goats don't stay. Wow. I can see it. It's like a little tiny little jet of some sort. It's loud. Anyway, so the fences are all really good back here for the most part. Our neighboring fence to the west, our neighbors started replacing the wire, but I don't think they ever finished the job, so I'm going to check that out. So you see the grass isn't super long out here, but it's definitely longer than what they've been eating. And may as well take advantage of it now before it freezes, and then I'm forced to feed them all hay. So this is our western fence line. It looks like they finished the job. These are all brand new wires on this fence. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. Because before, when I last was out here, which I don't come out here very often, but when I was last out here, they only had the top two done, and the rest was totally open. I'm like, oh no, I hope they come back and finish this, or are they waiting for us to finish it? Since it's a shared fence line, I don't know how these things work. But they did the whole thing, so that is wonderful. I'm guessing they probably did this part of it because we put in that really nice new fence up there along that half of their property and the shared line there. So maybe they thought that it was only fair that they do this line. But that's awesome because this was a very poor fence line before. and they'd even have cows get into our property from it. That house is still vacant. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with that. I'd love it if we could buy this 5 acres here. It even has a pond on it. That'd be so nice. But anyway, oh, there's even some new posts in here. All right, well, I'm gonna go let the horses out. They will be so excited. I bet they're gonna run and run. Well, that was short-lived. He's like, Zorro, come run with me. Zorro's more interested in eating. All right, well, I think they'll be happy out here for a little bit. Well, that's one way to ruin a whole entire bale. Thanks a lot, Maggie. Now I see why people put those round hay feeder thingies around their hay. What'd you think? Is that good stuff? And here's this dresser, all done and staged for selling. I think it turned out so beautiful. She loves her hay. Yes, we will pray.